Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. This is our Friday edition and we are going to be doing it's going to be a tutorial on how to mix skeins of yarn together so that you can make them work with different colors. Some color matching and color mixing type of thing. But first, I did want to give you an update. Last Friday, if you missed the video, you can click the link right here. But I'm getting ready to go to my granddaughter's wedding next month. And so I had 7 different dresses that I was debating on, and I had you guys tell me what you thought I should wear. So I wanted to give you the results of the 7 dresses. So the winner that came, well, maybe I'll start from the bottom of the barrel. The one that the least amount of people chose was dress number 4. So that one was the least popular dress. The next 2 were tied, and that was dress number 2 and dress number 5. The next one was the dress that I jokingly said I looked like my kitchen dishes. So that was dress number 7. Then we had, this would be the third runner up, was the blush colored dress. That is dress number 5. So we are down to 2 now. The next one that had next to the most votes was dress number 3, the purple dress. And the top dress that you all felt it had the most votes, and that was dress number 1, and that's the green dress. So thank you all for your help with that. Now I know how to accessorize and what I'm going to be doing, so appreciate that input. So let's get on with the tutorial. What happens if you buy one skein of yarn that you really like and you don't know what to put it with? That's what we're going to be talking about and how you can make those work. So I'm going to show you first off the sweater that I worked on, this particular sweater. And in this case, it wasn't a matter of matching color as it was matching the stripes, because you can see here, this was all done in one piece until you reached here. So from here down on the sleeves was added later. But because this is a self-striping yarn, you don't want this sleeve to look different from this sleeve. You know, one of these things are not like the other. Yeah, you don't want that kind of moment because it doesn't look real flattering to have your sleeves not match. So how do you do that? And you will see I'll insert a little bit of a little clip when I was knitting this that I showed you how where I was stopping, and well, you'll understand when you see it. So when matching colors in variegated yarn, now this is Lion Brand, no, I'm sorry, this is Knit Picks Brava Stripe. As you can see, my pattern, because this was knit in the round from the top down, you can see that my pattern stays the same. These are the sleeves here, and it stays the same until it gets to this portion. This sleeve I have not completed yet. You can see this is where I stopped. This is a light blue right here. Now this sleeve has been completed. This is that same light blue stripe. You can see here's where the pattern continues around because it was done in the round. And then you separated for the sleeves, which is what has been done here. And then you kept going around and around and around to get to the bottom. So this sleeve, let me pull it over here a little closer. So when I did this sleeve, I put a marker right here so that I know this is where the sleeve ends. So this is this section right here. So I know that all of this is new, that is knitted. This is a ribbing stitch when it gets to the dark right here. It's ribbing. So by doing this, I can go through, look at the colors that I've used. I can count how many rows, because I want this other sleeve to look identical to this one, otherwise it's really going to stand out. so I can watch the colors. This is, in the video it might look like these are all the same shade of blue, but there is some you can see a little bit of variety in here. I'm going to color control, which means I'm going to use this yarn. I'm going to match which blue this is, and then I'm going to separate it. I'm going to probably cut some of this ball of yarn apart and separate it so I have this color, and I will work it. You can see it gets darker right here. So I'm going to count how many rows are going to go around to here so I can repeat the identical thing on this side. Then I'm going to know that it's going to go to the next blue, and I will match that blue, and it looks like I did 2 to 3 rows with that little bit darker blue, so I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then it goes to the darkest, which is almost a navy blue. It looks gray, but it is navy blue in here, and this is a dark navy, and this is the darkest navy blue. So this way I can count my stitches so that this sleeve will be, both sleeves will be identical. Now they're not going to match identically with here because this is where the row stopped, and because this was a greater distance going around as opposed to the circumference of the sleeves, it's not going to match exactly. I could have, but I didn't want to be bothered with it that much because I really don't think that's that bad right here between this and this. So that is what I will be doing, and that's how, when you have variegated yarns, this is what you would do with a striped sleeve so that your sleeves look matched when you put them together. So it's a form of color control. So if you saw in the video, I had marked where I had stopped on the going in the round here, where the sleeves separated. So that way I could count exactly how many rows in each color to make sure that the second one, when I went back and added it, was the exact same number as over here. And I was able to hold the colors together to make sure that it was the right shade, because you can see this has several shades of blue. Even within here there's 3 shades. So this way I was able to pretty closely match it so that once it's all put together it doesn't look like the sleeves were an afterthought. So then I'm going to talk about, this is a shawl that I made called the Find Your Fade. It is an Andrea Mowry pattern, and I'm going to hold it up for you. It has 7 different yarn colors in it. So how did I come about this, and how do you blend colors together so that it's not, you know, like ba-boom, here we go, change of colors. So you can see in this first one, this is like a cream color, and there are some little flecks of gray in with the pink. And there's different shades of pink. There's some fuchsia in here. So then you stripe it between here and the next color, and that took me into the gray. And here you can see where it was striped. And then here I have 2 solid colors. And again, this color, there are little pops of that color in the original. So these 3 could tie together because this had pink, had the brighter pink. It had a light pink, and it also had a gray in it. So these 3 colors went together. And then I went from this fuchsia, you can see very clearly where I striped it here, and we went into a black, and here you can see where I striped the black into this vivid purple and pink. And again, this pink in here mimics the pink that is over here. Some of the little brighter pops of pink, like right in here. And the purple introduced a new color. So then it was striped again into here, and here's that pink again that is part of this pink, which is part of the beginning pink. And then it's striped to a final color, which was purple, which mimicked the purple over here. So you can see how that was all tied together, and it's called fading when you stripe from one color to the next, so it's more of a gradual color change. So I'm going to turn the camera around now, and I'm going to show you some examples of some different yarns and how I would put them together if I was going to make something with them. So these are 5 different colored skeins. This one is from Craft House Magic, if you watch Ellie. Yeah, this is Craft House Magic. This was a knit crate yarn that, and I believe I have another partial skein of this. Not positive, but I think I have another skein of this somewhere. This was influenced or put together with Creative Grandma. So I did have 2 skeins of it, and like I said, I think I still have a skein, but I'm not positive. This yarn is I believe this was from Craftsy, and this is a Highland Superwash Sock Twist, and it's Cloudborne Fibers. This one is also a knit crate, and I do have a second skein of both of these. This one is Chill, and it's an Audine wool. And this one, I don't know if you can see it real well, but yeah, there you go. You can see it's not a solid purple, it's tonal. There's some other shades in there. And then lastly, I have another Cloudborne Fibers from Craftsy, and this one is in the Ecru color. So this one's color name was Lavender Heather, and you can see it is heathered because it's not a solid color. So what would I do with these? Well, there's various things, I mean, that I could do. I could actually even pick up some of this kind of bluish denim. If I had a blue denim yarn, I could actually blend that in as well. And I might end up doing that because you can see there's purple and blue together. So if I had a blue that was like this, I could mix it in. I would probably start with maybe this shade of purple. It's really soft too. And blend it together with this one. And then you could blend directly into here, but it wouldn't be as noticeable. This one's, the colors are the same on both of these. This one has the same blues mixed in as this one does, which is why I would put them together. You also want to make sure that they have the same or very similar fiber content, because otherwise if you wash them, if one is a superwash and one is not a superwash, you're going to have some felt to some things and not felt to other things, and yeah, you could have a mess. So I could do something as simple as this, where I would start with a purple and then keep getting more saturated in the speckles and then go to here. I could put it like this as well. Start with complete no color, a slight color, a more dense color, and then picking up these shades of purple. But when you look real close, this purple here is darker than this one. So I would tend to put it like that because this purple is closer to this one. But any of those combinations would work, and then you would just stripe in between each of these colors so that it was not an abrupt change. It would be more blended. So this is more than likely the scheme I would use for this. However, if I wanted to make something bigger, I actually could pick in, like I said, pops of these blues. Like this one has a darker blue right here. I could pop a darker blue over here. And this one, the blue is a lighter, it's almost a gray blue. So I could actually put one in here or in between here. So that's how I would do this bunch. Now I have a totally different one that you would look at and go, does that go at all together? Some of them do, some of them don't. So when I'm looking at this, these two, I could definitely get away with putting them together, because if I look underneath here, you can see it's got this kind of, this is a kind of a yellowy, greeny gold. It's showing up maybe green, but it is actually like an antique gold color. And there are some shades of this same antique gold mixed in, like right in here. So it's not the greatest, but these two could go together. This would definitely work with this. But to try to put something this dark with it would not necessarily work, because there is nowhere in here that it's as dark as this one. So what would I do if it was me? I would put this over here. This would be questionable whether I would use it at all. These three I would definitely go with, but I wouldn't stick them next to each other like this. I mean, you can see they have very, very similar coloring right in here. I would tend to put something in between them because this has these bold colors here. It has pinks and grays mixed in. This one does not. This one again pulls the same brown, but then the other colors it has in here don't have anything to do with any of these. So this one would be questionable whether it could go with it. These three I would use together with no problem. This one potentially, but more than likely not. These three I'd say yes, and I would put them in that order. If I didn't have that skein, this one would then work with this one very nicely. Now, could we put this like this? You could, but this is such an odd color to throw in. That's the hardest color you're going to have to work with. It could be done, but I don't know that I'd want it right up against here, even though they share so many other colors like the golds and stuff. This pink and gray, I'm not sure why that was put in there because it really doesn't go real well with it. But yeah, these two go together nicely. These go together nicely. You could have these two together with no problem. You could have these two together with no problem. You could have these two together with no problem. But if they were put together as a grouping, could you do it this way? No, this stands out like a sore thumb, so you would not want to use those. Now I have a dark skein. Would this go with any of it? Not really, but if I was going to use it at all, it would go over here because this is a little bit darker than over here. So this would probably not get used. That kind of greenish color would not be used. If I was putting them together, I would probably do this and try to get another brown to put in between here, or actually I would probably do this. This would probably be my choice. I would do this. This would be a buffer yarn to kind of take away from this. So I'd probably do this one, and then this is a buffer. This color is picked up over here between these two. It's closer, it's kind of in between these two colors. And then this one plays off from this color to here. And they have the same kind of a yellowy background. This is more cream, but where the brown is, it's kind of got some of that yellow undertones. So you can see it more right in here. There you can see some of the yellow that's in there. So if I was going to use it, these are probably the way I would arrange the 4 skeins. So now that we've talked about that part, I am going to insert a clip Kim and I got together the other day, and she has these color boxes that she just ordered, and they came in, and they're like color swatches and what colors would go together that are complementary to each other, which would help you with yarn. They remind me of when you go to the paint store and they show you a main color and then they show you all the accent colors that would go with it. It's like that, but on a much, much grander and more detailed scale, because it even gets into shading and everything else with them. So they're really unique boxes. So I'm going to insert that video of when she and I were talking about that.
Hi everybody. For Katrina's show on color, I thought this might be of interest, and she did too, to everybody, about some kind of a tool that can be used to help you decide on colors for your projects. And this is called, you've probably heard of it, I saw it on Facebook myself, and then I explored and I saw some YouTube videos where people talked about them. But this is Sarah Renee Clark's, it's right there, Sarah Renee Clark's color cube. And this is, I got the 2-volume set. You can buy them separate, 2 different sets. There's plenty in each one if you don't think you need that many choices. But this is what the 2-volume set comes in, this box. And it says open here, very helpful. And then there's two cubes here, color cubes. So I'll take out the first one. There's one. And then number 2. And so far, I haven't explored them extensively yet. So far, I think it's just, there's not necessarily a distinction between the 2 other than the second one just having another set of cards that are different, set of different cards. They're very sturdy, nice boxes, very, very nice set, very well put together. And but it comes with a lot of cards, just like some games you probably have, all different cards. And right in the front of each set is instructions on how you can use these. And I'll pull one out so you can also see it. And they're numbered, which I love, because if you take one out of the middle that you really want to use, it's numbered so you can put it right back where it belongs, if you want to keep them all in order. But anyway, each card, and the instructions will talk about the different colors, but the idea is she's created all these cards with taking a photograph and pulling colors out of it to show colors that go well together. And you can take these colors, take this to your yarn store and match it up to yarns in the store so that you get all colors that go together. You don't have to think as much about it. But
yeah, they're going to complement each other.
But first you would look through here and find any combination that you like, and then take that card with you to the store. But you can also use these if you like to do coloring books or you do computer graphics and need to have some nice colors for that. You know, they're good for any kind of art. Any kind of
home decorating would be good too.
Yep, that
you'd know what colors to do your walls and what accessories and
yeah, you can, if you find a combination that you really love, you can use that to try to match things. You know, so it's pretty cool. And then also on the back she gives you actual, I think, let's see, how to match. These are hex codes, these numbers, and it says here if you're designing on a computer or tablet you can use the hex codes to grab a better color match for these palettes. Yeah, so therefore trying to find, you know, colors, trying to match colors on the computer. Sometimes on the screen it doesn't really look, you know, it's hard to tell what the color is going to look like. There's green,
especially greens and blues.
Yeah. So then there's tints and shades. Like the main color is this dark color, but then I'm not sure yet which is a tint or a shade, but they're 2 different lighter shades of the color. And I'm not sure which is which. Oh, it says, well, they can help you with dark, if you want to find a lighter shade, like you want to do lighter shades, you don't want that saturated. The darker one is the more saturated color. So it gives you some ideas. They do have, if you go on our website, which is sarahreneeclark.com, and I think Katrina
I'll put it down below.
Put it down below. It's actually on this card here. If you go on the website, she also has color catalogs, and you don't have to buy the cube sets. You can buy like some books that have the different color shades in it. She's got a lot on her website. She even has coloring books that are really neat. Just a lot of tools that you can use. So that's what that is. Anyway, I'm going to take a chunk out of here. I'm going to stick this in here. It's a good idea to like use some post-it notes or something to
Bookmark
like,
your spot.
yeah, if you take a bunch of, or if you, I don't know, you don't have to. They're, like I said, they're numbered, so. But here's some different, I mean, there's just every kind of combination. So there's one. Oh, these are nice. Look at that with the frog.
Are they grouped in the box like all the greens together and more, or are they just kind of mixed throughout?
I don't think so. I'm not seeing, because look how different these are.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
You know, they're not, but they are kind of turned funny, which is, I think, well, there's 86. Yeah, some of the colors they put up the side and the numbers right there. So that, that's kind of nice for Christmas holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a real neutral one,
yeah.
which is nice. Yeah, so they're all so. I mean, some of them look like this, look kind of vintage. You know, if you're looking for something like that, it helps you to pick out those types of colors.
My grandson would like that one. He loves flamingos.
Yeah, if you like the ocean and summertime, that's a nice summertime palette. And anyway, I don't know how much we're allowed to show.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
that's just a sampling of what's in here, and it's just the possibilities are endless.
Very neat. I will put a link down in the description box if people want to go over and check it out.
Yeah.
So.
And you could just, it is cheaper to get the two box set. But if you're like, well, I probably would never go through all this one box, then you may just want to get one box. Like I said, I can't tell that there's a big difference. Let's look at box 2 a little. I can't tell that there's a big difference other than there are different cards in each one. So maybe let's take a bunch out and see.
Oh, I like those colors.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, fall.
Like autumn colors, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, see, it's still just a lot of different combinations. They don't look all that like there's something unique about this box other than it's different cards, so. And they are numbered, let's see, like the second box does start with number 251. So there are 250
in each box.
So you get
Okay.
500 different color combinations if you get both boxes.
Okay.
So that's nice too, if you can tell which box the card came out of,
Oh,
if you know the numbers of them.
very cool.
So,
Well, thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
Now I will put a link down below to those color boxes if you're interested in checking them out. Yeah, so anyway, link down below if you're interested. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. Just if you're interested in checking them out, that's where you can go over to get those. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.